Cool then. Okay, so today we'll just continue from where we left yesterday. We're going to continue with the marketing communication mix. So yesterday we spoke advertising, public relations, publicity. Uh, what else did we talk about?
PR, advertising, um, um, the 7 elements of advertising,
Mhm.
um, the role of public relations in advertising,
Yeah.
the types of advertising.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So today, and remember the 7 steps of personal selling that we discussed yesterday.
Yes.
Okay. Uh, okay. So today we're gonna start off with the role of direct responsible marketing. So direct responsible marketing is one of the communication uh, marketing communication tools. It's part of the marketing communication mix as well, just like advertising, public relations, personal selling. Okay. So direct marketing, this is when you are dealing straight with the customers. This is when you advertise your products to directly to the potential customers. Okay. A, a good direct marketing campaign, it creates and builds relationships with customers. And it even tests the durability, the appeal of the product or services that a company is offering. Okay, so direct response marketing. It uses different advertising channels. Okay, uh, and with direct response marketing, you can actually measure the response or the transaction that you get from any advertising material that you send out. Okay, so for example, a company might send you an email. Okay, come and try our new food. Come and try our new shawarma that we're selling. Then you go and try that new shawarma. What they do now is they can actually quantify it. Okay, out of the 100 emails that we sent, 50, we got 50 responses. We got 20 people who didn't respond. We got 10 people that said who respond but haven't responded. You see what I'm saying? So that is an advantage of direct response marketing. Okay. Um, Marketers that use these concepts, they usually use different media channels. Okay, it can be an email, it can be radio, it can be TV, it can be social media. It can be, I'm sure you've seen this in newspapers when maybe Game or ShopRite, they put in their inserts there with all the products that they're selling. A pamphlet, it can be a pamphlet, it can be a brochure, it can be a poster. I'm sure you've seen this in newspapers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The
So that's
magazines.
correct. So that's a direct response marketing. They are targeting directly to the consumer. So whoever is going to get the magazine or whoever is going to get a newspaper, automatically he will see the advert, isn't it? Okay. So with direct response marketing now, it's easy to quantify, like I said, it's also easy to measure the outcome. What is the aftermath of all the advertising that we have spent? Like I said before, if we send 100 emails, how many people did respond to those emails? If you send those inserts in a newspaper over maybe, let's say, 1,000 newspapers, how many people did respond back to the advert? Okay. So now, what are the advantages of direct marketing? Okay. Number one, they say accountable. Accountable there, they're saying it, like I was explaining, it is very easy for marketers now to calculate, to understand all the money that they have spent, okay, in terms of the return on investment. Because you're gonna know, okay, we printed 1,000 posters, isn't it? That means those inserts are in
Mm-hmm.
1,000 newspapers. It's different from advertising. Advertising is very difficult to measure uh, its effect because you don't know if it's actually reaching the correct audience. If it's being aired on radio or television, it's very difficult to say, okay, uh, we've aired our advert on SABC3 5 times a week. 20 people responded to that advert. It's very difficult to come up with that. But with direct marketing, there's accountable. You can actually do that because you can calculate and say, okay, we've sent 100 emails, we've sent 100 inserts. You can calculate. Another advantage is added value advertising. Okay, so besides just creating sales, direct marketing also creates product and brand awareness. Remember, messages that are personally addressed to someone in a targeted audience are more powerful than advertising designed for broad coverage, like I was explaining before. If an advert comes to you and it's direct to you with your name, hello Clifford, can you try out this? We have a new this. That advert tends to be more powerful than an advert that is generally targeted, that is targeting everyone. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm.
Mhm. Then again, what's the third advantage? It's allegiance advertising. It says there on number 3, direct marketing seeks to achieve commitment and loyalty from their customers. It is a long-term approach in which the lifetime value of each customer becomes an important measure. Okay, how then do you measure commitment and loyalty? The more you send those emails, the more you get feedback from that customer. Then you realize, oh, okay, so this is a loyal customer. This customer always responds to our emails. This customer comes in here and purchases every time we send a direct uh, advertise to him or to her. Okay. Then number 4, it's automated advertising. Now, because you're living in 21st century, technology is moving very fast. And now technology is an advantage that it gives us a closer relationship with the customers. And marketers now are able to reach new target markets and create individual relationships with customers due to technology, just a phone call away, just a WhatsApp. So now you can create automated advertising that every after 3 days, it can send bulk of emails to different targeted audience. I'm sure once you open your email account, you sometimes see you're bombarded with a lot of advertisements because those
Mm-hmm.
advertisements doesn't necessarily mean they are creating them every day. They've created them maybe once a week, then they say every after 2 days, 48 hours, the computer will automatically send those adverts again. That's an automated advertising. Then we have action advertising as an advantage of direct marketing. Okay. Uh, Remember, the main goal of direct marketing is to encourage consumers or customers to buy a product. So these actions may include buying a product or a service, or even requesting information about a service or a product, or maybe, visiting an online or a supermarket or a shop, things like that. So direct marketing can actually quantify action because at the end of the day, it's saying, come and purchase this product. Another advantage is answer-back advertising. This aims to create a dialogue with customers. By dialogue, they're meaning there is a sender and there is a receiver. A receiver will also send information. Once you get a direct marketing advert, you can respond to that. Okay, so that's what they're saying there. It's an answer back. It creates a communication, a two-way communication between the customer and the sender of the message. So you can actually answer back. In this regard, there is no one-way communication. Okay, so direct responsible marketing, it allows you to communicate your opinion back, what you think about the product or the brand, or the services that are being advertised. Okay. Then another advantage is appropriate advertising. By appropriate, it means it generally selects a specific market by matching products and service benefits to the needs of a specific group of people. By this, they say, you can't be advertising. Let me give you an example. You can't advertise a jazz album to people who are 15 years, 16 years. No, they're not into jazz.
Yeah.
They won't buy that. So direct marketing, it creates
Yeah.
a specific target market. So it analyzes the market, then it matches the products or the services that they have with the specific group of people. So they look at the people and say, okay, what is it that we can advertise to these people? What is it that they might be interested in? If for the youths, what is it that they might be interested in? It's obvious, sneakers. Okay, so let's advertise sneakers amongst the youths. But if you're talking of 40, 50, 60 years old, we can't be advertising sneakers to those. Maybe we might advertise athletic sneakers for jogging or running, things like that. But for fashion sneakers, mainly we target those maybe 35 years and below. So that's what direct marketing does. It doesn't just advertise for the sake of advertise. It targets a specific group of people who need specific needs. Okay, so what is the link then between direct marketing and advertising? Okay, the first there it says the key difference between direct marketing and advertising is in the process, is in the response each marketing communication channel is expected to produce. Direct response being more specific and measurable, like what we're explaining. It targets specific people. You can actually quantify and measure the effects of direct marketing, whereas advertising is very difficult for you to quantify or measure the effects of advertising. But how many people bought your product because they were influenced by an advert that they saw on TV? That is very difficult to quantify. Okay, but with direct marketing, you can easily do that because you are in charge. You know you have sent how many emails, you know how many inserts that you have put in a magazine or newspaper. Okay, then number two, advertising and direct marketing both use various forms of media, and they share the purpose of informing, persuading, and reminding customers of the features and benefits of brands, products, and services. However, these forms of communication have vastly different approaches, which is true. The way advertising approach that is used when we are advertising any product or brand on television, it's going to be different with the way or with the approach that we are going to use on direct marketing. Direct marketing is going to be straight to the point, direct to you. It will feature you in the advertising rather than the advertising we see on TV. You got nothing to do with that advertising. It's targeting millions of people. But when it's direct marketing, it's specifically targeting you. So you feel more involved in the advertising. So the purpose of advertising, remember, is to get as many people to remember your product or service, to persuade them to buy a product, to inform them about the product. However, now, the intent of direct marketing is to get a targeted number of people to buy your product or service. Can you see the difference there? We are saying advertising, you're trying to make sure that many people can remember your product, you're advertising on TV or radio. With direct
Yeah.
marketing, now, you're saying you're targeting a group of people to buy your product. You're not targeting millions of people. No, within those millions, maybe you say, okay, we're going to target those within the ages of 30 and 35. Or we're going to target those who are suffering from TB or those who are suffering from HIV and AIDS. You see, so you're not just targeting everyone, but you have a targeted number of people. Okay. However, you can put it another way. Advertising speaks to people in mass. In mass, it means in large numbers, in uncalculated numbers. While direct marketing speaks to people as individuals. An email that has been sent to you, paper that you bought, and in that newspaper, there is an insert from GAM, from ShopRite, from Pick and Pay. It's speaking directly to you. So that's the two different, that's the major difference between direct marketing and advertising. However, they all intertwine together because this is, at the end of the day, we are trying to persuade people to buy your product, just as advertising do, just like direct marketing. Okay. So now let's move on to another.
Okay.
Any question?
No, not at all.
Okay. So now let's move on now to uh, another marketing communication tool, sponsorship. What is sponsorship? It's a question to you. What is sponsorship?
Oh, sorry, I didn't get that. I'm so sorry. Um, Sponsorship is the alignment of a brand with an individual or an event in an attempt to form an association between the two in the mind of the target audience.
In your own words, what does that mean?
This is when a brand supplies you with whatever that you, with whatever resources that you lack, in order for them to also gain good publicity.
Okay, okay. That's true, but also not necessarily what you lack. Sponsorship can be of mutual argument for mutual benefit between two parties involved. Think of when Vodacom is sponsoring a soccer team. Okay, just think of when Neymar, Tiger Woods, they get endorsement deals from Nike. Doesn't necessarily mean
Oh, okay. Yes,
LeBron
yes.
James is very successful, he's rich. Doesn't mean he really needs that sponsorship, but it is for the mutual benefit of the two. Nike is going to get publicity, like what you say, through using LeBron James. LeBron James, in return, is going to get financial advantages, isn't it? Because Nike will say, okay, we're going to sponsor you. Maybe we're going to give you a 25 million deal a year. And LeBron, what he has to do is either maybe wear Nike sneakers, Nike t-shirts, sponsor if they are having any events and stuff like that. He become part of Nike. So that's a sponsorship. Okay. Another way of defining a sponsorship in simple terms, it can be a financial or material support of any event or activity or organization by any unrelated partner. So it is a good way of increasing brand awareness. Think of this. If you're a soccer person, if you love Cristiano Ronaldo, Neymar, Messi, automatically the moment you see them, you also see the brand that is sponsoring them. You can see Nike when you look at Tiger Woods. When you look at Cristiano Ronaldo, you can see Nike. You can see Adidas with other also athletes, isn't it? So it increases the brand awareness. In a way, they are trying to influence people to buy that product because they are saying, look, Cristiano Ronaldo is using the same product. Why can't you use the product? You understand what I'm saying? And Cristiano Ronaldo being someone who is influential, that alone being sponsored by a brand, it means it's going to gain momentum, brand awareness, and it's also going to generate consumer preference. And sometimes also to foster brand loyalty. There are consumers who might prefer to use Nike or Adidas because their role model is using that particular brand. And this is very true, isn't it? A lot of people dress how whoever their role model is or stuff like that. They're always like, oh, okay, did you see that t-shirt with this celebrity? I need that t-shirt. Because those people, they influence lifestyle. They influence how people dress or how people even talk or how people even behave. Okay. So a company can reinforce then awareness among its target market by sponsoring an event or an organization that attracts similar target market. So sponsorship, it can be of people, they can also be sponsorship of an event. If there's an event, think of this. Let's say there's an event, there is a show, Clash of Titans, DJs clashing. Hunters might say, okay, we need to be part of this event. We're going to sponsor. We're going to pay the DJs. Or they'll be like, okay, we're going to sponsor every alcohol that will be sold there. We are responsible for that. We're responsible for the advertisements. We are responsible for the venue, things like that. That's all sponsorship. It can be a sponsorship of even a university function, a college function, a school function. You have a prize giving day. You have different sponsors that might come in and say, okay, we're going to give prizes to those students that have excelled exceptionally well. So we are sponsoring,
Oh, okay.
or we are sponsoring with 5,000 for those who have passed with distinction, 3,000 for those who have come second, things like that. All these are sponsorship. Okay. So other than association factor, so with sponsorship, it's a matter of being associated with a brand, being associated with an individual or an organization. There are also different advantages of sponsorship. Okay. Uh, these are so many. We have one, flexibility. We have brand equity, media exposure, cost effectiveness, opportunity, crossing of frontiers, unity, achieving of objectives. Okay. Flexibility. What is an advantage of flexibility? It means you can flow in either direction as a sponsorship. You can sponsor a school, you can sponsor a DJ, you can sponsor, it can be of a different paradigm altogether. So that's the flexibility there. So if you want to be a sponsor, you're not limited.
Okay.
You're not limited to a certain individual, or you're not limited to a certain industry. It can be anything. Then brand equity.
Okay.
What do you understand by brand equity?
The name sounds familiar, but brand equity, brand
Yeah,
equity.
try.
Um, if, um,
Okay. So brand
maybe it's
equity. Mhm.
the way, maybe it's the way the brand is supposed to be principled by.
Not really. Okay. So brand equity, uh, it is a value premium, okay, that a company generates from a product with a recognizable name when compared to a generic equivalent. Okay. Um, for example, companies can create brand equity for their products by making them memorable, easily recognizable, and superior in quality and reliability. Okay. Brand equity. This is when a product is so different from any other product. Think of your iPhone. The moment you see an iPhone, you can tell this iPhone, isn't it? You don't need
Yeah.
you don't need anyone to say this is an iPhone. You automatically see this is an iPhone because of its uniqueness from any other mobile
Yeah.
technology. It's different from a Samsung and what this other name? Huawei. Those two phones, sometimes you might, if they're just there, they are not on, If you don't see the label, you might confuse and say, okay, maybe this is a Huawei or this is a Samsung. But with an iPhone, you never ever, because it's so unique. That's the brand equity. You've created a product that is so unique that people can easily recognize, regardless of where the product is at that particular time. You understand what I'm saying? So that's brand equity.
Yeah.
Then media exposure. What do you think media exposure is?
Sorry.
Media exposure. Can you explain media exposure?
Yeah, media exposure is being I feel like yeah, that's self-explanatory. Like it's being exposed to the media. So in terms of television, radio, podcasting, YouTube, all the media platforms.
Yeah, correct, correct. Okay. Then cost effectiveness. This is easy. This is the degree to which something is effective or productive in relation to its cost, isn't it? Cost effective
Yeah.
advertising, it means you don't need to spend more money and the results are nonsense. That means you're not cost effectiveness, isn't it? So every business has to be cost effectiveness. Remember, it is the degree to which something is effective or productive in relation to its cost. If you spend 1 million, it should be worth it that you spend 1 million. Okay. Then opportunity, it creates doors. Those are opportunities that can be created by sponsorship. Then crossing of frontiers, different industries. It can be music, it can be soccer, it can be rugby, it can be politics, it can be anything. Okay, so that means you're not relying on one thing. Then unity, self-explanatory. Then achieving of objectives. Sponsorship, it gives you more exposure, media exposure. Think of when Caspar Novis is doing his fill ups. If there's a sponsor there,
Yeah.
you automatically see the sponsors with the billboards, with posters, everywhere with banners, isn't it? That's an exposure that it is giving you. So when Fill Up the Dome is being aired on SABC, you will see those um, sponsors. You will see those sponsors. So in a way, also they are advertising. Yeah, and you see now how it links with advertising. You are there sponsoring Casper Nyove's show. At the same time, it is being aired on ETV. Yeah, exposing your brand, you're exposing your products. Just think of even in movies, when Coca-Cola sponsors a movie, they might not use Coke, they might not drink Coke during the whole set of the movie, but you might see cans of Coke during the movie. Just automatically you see
Or
something. Oh, that's a
or
Coca-Cola.
billboards.
Yes, that's also how it works. Okay, so let me summarize simply here.
Okay.
Integrated marketing communication. It is a very simple concept. Okay, this concept, it incorporates all forms of communications that we have discussed. And all these forms of communications are linked together. They are intertwined together. Okay, remember these communication tools, you can call them promotional tools. Marketing communication mix, it can be promotional tools. Because the objective of all these concepts is to promote, is to sell, is to persuade, is to create a positive image of the company. Okay, so each it has different benefits, specific benefits and advantages, but it is very important then you should always remember that none of these work in isolation, they work together and they reinforce and amplify, solidify each other. Just like sales promotion, personal selling, direct marketing, social media marketing. These days we also have mobile marketing. I'm sure you've seen this. You get a text from Vodafone saying, "Oh, come and get an iPhone, paying 300 a month," or things like that. That's mobile.
Okay.
That's mobile marketing. And also these days they may say, "Okay, get this number from our WhatsApp group. Once you join that WhatsApp group, you'll be bombarded with different advertisements, isn't it?" And recently, WhatsApp said it's going to create advertisements now. So that means if you're a user of WhatsApp, you'll be exposed to that advert. Either you like it or you don't like it. Okay. Then these are the questions that I would want you to go through. I'll email you this as well. Then you go through
Okay.
these questions. Then there is a video that you should watch also there, the personal selling video. And what is personal selling in marketing? Okay, you should watch those two, what you call it, those two videos. Okay. Any questions on marketing communication mix?
No, not at all. In fact, the funny thing is, um, I'm enjoying all of this. Like, it's very interesting. It correlates with my because I do marketing three, so
Okay.
it correlates.
Oh, so that's excellent. So that means also by the time you do your marketing coming from an advertising, you'll be like, oh, I understand these things. Okay. So that's great.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's quickly move to our
Oh,
lesson.
sorry. Can I ask something? What did Brett say regarding context?
Oh yes, the contact lesson. I actually asked the academic leader, Francisca. She said for now we'll just continue with the online. They are actually working on a timetable where we are going to have workshops. So they're saying a week we are going to have one workshop that will be a contact lesson. Then after that we'll continue with the online until I don't know, maybe this COVID thing until a certain time, then we'll go back to contact lessons. But for now, she advised me to tell all the students that it's online. They're working on a timetable for workshops so that we can have at least one workshop each week.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So if you don't have any questions on marketing communication mix, let's move on to lesson 5. Okay. Uh, The objective of this lesson is very simple. Okay, so after this lesson, you should be able to understand the benefits of personal selling, the role of publicity that we have discussed. We have discussed all these things. Okay, sales promotion, we have discussed these things. Okay, um, sponsorship, everything, publicity, value of publicity, sales promotion, all these things we have discussed everything there. Okay, so let's quickly move to lesson 6. If you don't have any 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 question for me, okay.
No.
Okay, so let me quickly just should be able to understand the best practice guidelines for agents pitch procedure, know the role of advertising agencies in the advertising industry, understand the requirements under each heading of the brief. Okay. So now we're going to talk about advertising agents. Okay, so advertising agents, these are the people that are actually involved in the making and producing of advertisements. Okay, so let's see, how do we define an advertising agent? The American Marketing Association, it defines advertising agents as an independent business organization composed of creative and business people who develop, prepare, and place advertising in advertising media for sellers seeking to find customers for their goods and services. So, advertising agencies, these are the people that produce content for advertisers and they place this content in the media. Okay. So, when Coca Cola is advertising, it means they have looked for an advertising agent. That is, if they don't have an in-house. However, we're going to discuss more about these. We have different types of advertising agents. Okay. Advertising agents are made up of a body of experts. Okay, body of experts, these are people who are specialized in advertising, in preparing, and in executing the advertising campaigns in relation with their client. So a client will come to an advertising agent and say, okay, I need an advert. You might have an idea, okay, my advert, I want it to be like this and like this. The advertising agents will create an advert guided by what you want you as a client. So you yourself, you might approach advertising agents and say, okay, I need an advert. I want it to be a 30-minute, a 5-second or 10-second or a 20-second. You tell them what you want, then they can create that for you, and then they execute that for you. Then you pay these people. Okay. So during planning, the advertising agents, they study the client's product or service to identify its essential qualities and compare it to clients' competitors, products and services. By this, they mean once you approach your advertising agency, they're going to say, okay, let's look at the product that you want to advertise. They look at the product, they're also going to look at your competitors to see how they are doing their products. You with me? So before they even produce an advert, they do a research. They need to understand your product. What is important about the product? What are the features of the product? What is paramount important to this product that we might utilize in the adverts? Okay. So why do they do this? It enables the advertising agents to establish the advertiser's unique value. Because remember, your product has to be unique in order for it to sell. It has to have advantages over any other product that is on the market. Okay. Then after that, then appropriate media is selected and space is reserved for the delivery of advertisement to a selected target market. So after you've done all this, then you select the media that you want to use. Are you going to use TV? Are you going to use radio? All this also depends with your budget as well. Okay. Let me just quickly stop sharing with you here. Okay. Let me just quickly, because I can see giving me a little bit of time. Okay. So let's just log out. Then we come back at 10:45. Okay. Because my session.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because my session is expiring. So let's just come back at 10:45 after 3 minutes.
Oh, okay.